Hey guys, it's Lon from the ECOM zone, and in this video I'm going to show you guys my entire Facebook ad strategy from the beginning to scaling phase and then to retargeting phase. I won't be going onto the Facebook ad dashboard. This is just the strategy behind it and how you guys can run your ads. So let's jump into it. So phase 1 is testing. Now the point of this phase is to find winning creatives, winning ad copy, winning interests, and winning products. Those are the 4 things that you want to focus on. Now, if your ads aren't working, you can quickly tell by checking the cost per click. And if the cost per click is high, then your ad creatives aren't working. So this phase is also to help you validate your products, your ads, landing page, and funnel. At the end of the day, it's all about testing and finding what works for your products and your niche. So make sure to set up your columns so that you see the correct metrics. So the first one you want is impressions. This is just the amount of people that sees your ads. CPMs is cost per 1,000 impressions, and usually this is around like $20 depending on your niche and products. And for me, as you can see here, is only £3.91, so which is around $5 I guess. And the cost per click is the thing you want to look at, which is 11 cents or 11p for me, which is around 14 cents. Disgustingly cheap. So yeah, this is the number you want to look at when you're running ads and testing. And if it's above $1, then you really need to improve your ads. However, if it's $1 and you're very profitable, then that's completely fine. This also depends on your product cost and your average order value. And for me personally, I always recommend you guys aim for $50 average order value, because if you don't, it's very hard to become profitable. So next metric we're going to look at is CTR all. So this includes anyone who clicks onto your profile, likes your page, or comments on a post, or goes to your website, etc. And this one here, you kind of want it to be around 2.5%. Let's say your CTR is like 1%, however your cost per click is also low, then that's completely fine. The next 3 is add to cart, checkout initiated, and purchases. And this way you can see the funnel where people are dropping off, right? So here I got 23 add to carts, 9 checkouts, and 2 purchases. And for my ad account, it only really tracks 50% of my sales, so this here isn't actually that accurate. And cost per result is, for me, is £16.43. So basically, for me to break even, I need to make a £16 profit without ads. So I could sell an item for £10, but I need to sell it for at least £28, right? So £10 plus £16.43, which is £26.43. So any sale price above that, I'll make a profit. And then the budget and amount spent, and then purchase ROAS. So I spent £32 on this campaign and made £111. But again, this data is skewed and is not accurate. So once you got all those columns set up, it's time to actually create your campaign. So this is the campaign setup that I use today, and Facebook ads are constantly changing. You don't know what is working like today and tomorrow. Like today, it could be working really well, and then tomorrow they just change everything up. So before February, I was going full broad, right? But you can see here in the ad set level, I have interest, 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 and 1 broad. The reason for this is because, let's just say you're advertising boxing gloves. Why would you run ads broad when not everyone enjoys boxing? So you really want to target people who are into boxing. Same goes for if you're targeting cat toys. Not everyone has a cat, so you want to really test out those interests. And this diagram here is called a spider or tree diagram, or spider structure. And you start off with one ABO campaign. So ABO campaign is when you set the budget at ad set level. A CBO campaign, you usually use it for when you're scaling campaigns and not really for when you're testing. So ABO campaigns for testing. Then we're going to have 5 ad sets. As you can see here, interest ad set A, B, C, D, and then broad ad set E. So the interest ad sets, you really want to include interests that are related to your niche, and you also want the audience size to be over 20 million. And in terms of countries and what countries you should test, it really depends on your products and how well you know the market. You don't really want to bring a product from the US into the EU if you don't know the European market and if they even like that product. If you understand the European market, that's fine. But if you don't, it's going to be very difficult. So you can start with top 5 countries: US, UK, Australia, Canada, Germany. There's other countries in there like Spain, Italy, New Zealand, France. So there's 9 in there already. Your ad set budget can vary between $5 to $20 to however much you want it to be. But $5 is the bare minimum I would suggest. The only thing I'll say is the lower the budget, the longer it'll take to actually see results. So let's just say in interest ad set C, we have a $5 budget and it's split amongst 3 ads. So ad creative 1, ad creative 2, and ad creative 3. Now I wouldn't actually mix ad formats up. Let's just say you have 2 videos and 1 carousel. The 2 video ads are going to take up all the budget. That's just how Facebook is, and the carousel ad will get no budget assigned to it. And that's why I never mix image, carousel and videos up in the same ad set. And so what I mean by testing creative 1, 2 and 3. Now you could test 3 completely different videos or 3 completely different images. It's totally up to you. And at this point, you're just testing the waters. So let this testing campaign run for 48 hours. So let's just say each ad set was for $5 and you had 5 ad sets. So that is $25 a day. You run that for 48 hours. That means you spent $50. Now, will you get a sale in $50? Very unlikely. So after 48 hours, kill any ad that has a cost per click above $1. However, if it's profitable, don't kill it. This is only if you're not profitable. So you want to kill any ad that doesn't have any add to carts, checkouts, or purchases. And if your cost per click is above $1, then your ad needs to improve. That's it, guys. Higher cost per click just means your creative's bad, ad copy is bad, and you need to work on your ads. But let's say your cost per click is below $1, but you do not have any add to carts, then the issue is your website. So tips for this phase: never mix ad formats, which we've gone through. We are aggressively testing and killing ads after every 2 days as we are still trying to find the right formula. For me, when I teach beginners how to run ads and how to dropship, I'm trying to teach you guys from your point of view. A lot of gurus, they don't really think about where you are at the dropshipping stage. And as a beginner, you don't know how to run ads. You don't know what a good ad is. You don't know what a good product is. You don't know what a good landing page is. And so all these other gurus like, I'll give it a week. No, don't give it a week. Because if you have ads that's already spending like $25 a day and the cost per click is $3, you don't need to wait 7 days to figure out your ad's bad. You just need to wait for 2 days and the data will show you your ad is bad. So killing underperforming ads. So this is what a campaign may look like. So you got 3 good ones here, which is A, B, and E. However, C and D have really high cost per clicks, or it's just not working. And if we dive in deeper, we want to look at the ad level. So ad 1 and 2, let's just say the cost per click is actually lower than $1. However, ad creative 3 is $3. Now, this is actually the problem here. It was actually ad creative 3 that's dragging down the performance. And so what I would do is switch off ad creative 3 only and let ad creative 1 and 2 run. You wait 2 days again and see how that is. Now let's just say all your ads are performing really bad. You want to just switch off all your ad sets, go back to the drawing board and figure out what went wrong. You don't want to just close the ads and then forget about it and then create new ads. No, that's not why we've run ads. We've run ads so you can analyze the data and figure out what's the issue. Once you have killed underperforming ads, analyze why it's underperforming. And if you have an ad that's doing really well, then you want to analyze why it's doing well. And take note of what the issues are so you don't repeat the same mistakes. As I mentioned before, you want to analyze performing ads and ask yourself why it performed. If one ad set performs better than another ad set, then it may be due to the interest. If you end up killing all ad sets and ads, then you need to go back to the drawing board and test more creatives and optimize the funnel. These are the metrics you want to aim for when testing ads. CPM below $15, CTR above 2.5%, and cost per click around 50 cents. Now, these are what you want to aim for. It's not what you want to close your ads for. So there's a big difference there. Ideally though, you just really want to aim for better metrics. So moving on to phase 2, scaling. So when can you actually move on to the scaling phase? Well, once you have found a winning creative and winning interest, then you can actually move to this phase. If you haven't, then you still need to keep on phase 1 and still test new ad creatives and new products. And also, once you have optimized your landing page and funnel, then it's time for scaling. So what actually determines a winning ad? Well, you need more than 5 purchases for each ad set. You need a cost per click lower than $1, a CPA below your break even, and a ROAS above your break even. And what determines an optimized funnel? So this is your funnel for your website. So if your add to cart is above 4%, that is really good. And if your checkout initiated is at 2%, that's actually good as well. And your purchases above 1%, that's great. Now again with this, you want to aim for higher numbers. So the higher the add to cart, the higher checkout initiated and the higher purchases you get. So there's actually many ways to scale, and in this method is scaling horizontally. So here are the results from killing ad sets and ads in your ABO campaign, right? So you killed C and D, and now you're left with A, B, and E with 2 ad creatives. Now what you want to do is duplicate interest ad set A and B, so it becomes A2 and B2, as you can see here in the blacks. And then you want to test different interests that are related to the interest ad set A and B. Sometimes you can actually keep the same interest and test that way. And remember guys, it's all about testing. So what you can do when you're testing is change the ad hooks, your creatives or ad copy to something similar and test it against your winners. So you're not deleting your winners, you're just duplicating the ad creatives inside and you're testing more. So what are the benefits of duplicating ad sets? You can dupe and test new interests with existing ads. You can dupe and test the same interests with new creatives, hooks, ad copy that are similar to your winning creatives. In this way, you don't have an unorganized campaign structure on your ads manager. It's just one ABO campaign and you're just constantly testing and scaling inside this campaign. And guys, this campaign never turns off. Even when you're scaling, the ABO campaign always remains on and you're constantly adding new creatives in there and testing new interests. So you can duplicate as many times as you want. It all comes down to your budget and cash flow. And after you duplicate ads, you want to adopt the same rules as before when killing ads. So you wait 48 hours, see how that goes, see where you can improve your ads, and so forth. And so this is the second method of scaling, which is scaling vertically. So all it is just increasing budgets of winning ad sets by 10 to 50% every 2 days or more. So again, this is the structure before, and all you're doing is, okay, if interest ad set A and B and broad ad set E is working really well, I'll just increase the budget. So before it was 5, we could increase it to 7. Wait 2 days and see how that goes. So what should you do if your ad set continues to perform well after you raise the budget from $5 to $7? Well, it's simple. Just continue to increase budgets by 10 to 50% every 2 days. And also duplicate more and test new interests like before. And what should you do if your ad set stops performing? Which actually happens quite often and is very frustrating. Well, 1, reduce your budget back down to the previous budget and wait 3 days. So that'll be from 7 back down to 5. And if your ad set still doesn't perform, then reduce it again and wait 3 days. And if your ad set still doesn't perform, after this, I would recommend killing it and then duplicating it and testing it again in a new ad set. The reasons why sometimes this works is when you duplicate an ad set and you leave everything the same, you're actually testing a different segment within the audience. And then phase 3, scaling with CBO. So CBO stands for Campaign Budget Optimization, and you're basically setting the campaign budget at the campaign level. And this just gives Facebook more control as they get to assign the budget to the ad sets. I would recommend starting the budget of this CBO campaign at $50. Again, this ultimately depends on your cash flow and your capital. Use manual settings and not Advantage Plus shopping campaign. The Advantage Plus shopping campaign is something you do in the future when you found a lot of winning ads and your pixel is a lot warmer. Right now, just stick to manual settings. So what does it look like? So in this new CBO campaign, which is your second campaign only, right? You had one ABO and now one CBO. This campaign is basically duplicated ad sets from your ABO campaign. So as you can see here, interest ad set A, interest ad set B, and the broad ad set E, which was from the ABO campaign, you just duplicated it over to a CBO. You just let Facebook run and give them more power to assign the budget themselves. And that's basically it with the CBO. So let the campaign run for 3 days before making any changes. You want to switch off any underperforming ad sets, just like before. Any ad sets that's not getting you any sales, switch it off. If no ad sets remain, then switch off the campaign and create another CBO. This has happened many times before where I duplicated the ad sets into a CBO and it doesn't work for 2 days. I just switch it off and then I create another one. If one ad set remains, then duplicate this ad set and test a similar interest while switching off the other two. I recommend CBOs have a maximum of 3 ad sets in each CBO campaign, and whilst you're scaling ads, you should always be testing new creatives and new interests in the ABO campaign. This is so that once you found a new winner in that ABO campaign, you can scale that up. And then you're constantly feeding the cycle of new winners, new creatives, and new products. So phase 4 is retargeting. Now I wouldn't actually go into this phase unless you got around like 400 sales. 95% of your users who've seen your ads do not buy from you. And if you never retarget them, you are leaving money on the table, guys. All you need is one simple campaign that retarget your customers. Try new creatives and ad copy if it doesn't work, and just keep testing. Test UGC content, carousel, static images, dynamic creatives, new videos, etc. Use different frameworks when writing your ad copy, like ADA, PAS framework. And make use of urgency, offers, and testimonials. And also, you're going to need to create custom audiences for these retargeting campaigns. So with the retargeting campaign, you want to create a completely new campaign. You want to group custom audiences at different stages of the funnel. So at the first stage here, they viewed your ad. Next one is people who clicked on your Facebook ads, or they clicked on your profile, or they left a comment on your ad post. The second part is Instagram users who followed you, who liked your ads or your pictures, or left a comment on your posts. And then they go through to your website, right? And this is another part of the funnel that you want to retarget. And then they add to cart and check out, but they never pay. So in each ad set, you're going to have ad creative 1, ad creative 2, and ad creative 3. And you can actually keep testing new ads in here if they're not working. Do this until you find winning ads. So there are 4 ad copy frameworks, and the first one is ADA. So the ADA framework, which stands for Attention, Interest, Desire, and Action, is a classic approach that focuses on capturing the attention of your audience, building interest in your product or service, and creating a desire for it, and ultimately driving action, which is clicking your ad and buying from you. The PAS framework is really good for almost all products because all products solve some issue, whether that's physical, spiritual, mental, pain, happiness, it solves something, right? So PAS stands for Problem, Agitation, Solution. And it's a great option for ads that focus on addressing a specific problem that your audience may be facing. The FAB framework is Features, Advantages, and Benefits. It's a simple but effective approach. It focuses on highlighting the key features of your product or service, the advantage they offer, and the benefits your audience will experience as a result of using your product. USP, I think everyone's heard of this one, is the unique selling proposition. And it's all about highlighting what makes your product or service unique and why that should matter to your audience and why they should buy from you and not a competitor. So some final pointers before I end this video is, after you figure out the winning formula, you want to give your ads more time to learn, preferably 5 to 7 days instead of 2 to 3 days. This just gives Facebook more time to learn and optimize. Do not listen to Facebook recommendations on combining ad sets, and make sure to add other admins to your business manager and ad account to avoid getting locked out of your account. This can be anyone you trust, like your partner, your parents, or your siblings. You'll receive hundreds of scam messages and emails, so just ignore them. Running ads is all about testing and seeing what works for yourself. Just because something worked before does not mean it will work now. And just because something didn't work before doesn't mean it won't work again. And guys, strategy only accounts for 10% of your success, whereas your ad creatives and ad copy counts towards more. So focus on those two: your offer, your product, and your landing pages. Thanks for watching, guys. The rain is actually starting to pour down. I hope you enjoyed my video. Hit the subscribe button and peace out.